Hey guys, just finished watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 11, All the Comforts of Home. This episode was a great episode, being episode 99, just before the episode 100. It was really cool setting up some of that. It doesn't really set up much going into 100. I mean, it sets up a bit of stuff, and we know that everyone's coming back and stuff, and where things are going, and it really is going to be interesting to see where things go for episode 5. Episode 100, it looks like, I mean, everything ends with an explosion and stuff, but it looks like Equinox is taking care of them, or Equinox, the other guy, what was his name, Noah, is actually taking care of the explosion, but still was a pretty big explosion. It's going to be cool to see where things go with that. It's really going to be interesting to see where things go in the episode 5. But first, let's get into this episode. We open up with Ruby and her mother. Mother's a military looking to capture S.H.I.E.L.D. and Ruby doesn't want to capture S.H.I.E.L.D. But then we see her in that suit that we see her later on, which is going to be interesting to see where we find that reveal at the end of the show. Which was an interesting reveal because for me, I knew the whole time that was her. I mean, it was her throughout all the marketing for the show, throughout all the advertisements and trailers. It was like, well, clearly that's Ruby's character. I mean, that's who she's playing. There was no question to me to that part, so that wasn't really much of a reveal, which I'm glad it is because of that. They would kind of just told us right away in this episode when her first appearance type thing. So I think that's really going to be cool to see what they play with that as things go on. We find out they've all made it back. I thought someone was going to be left back or someone was not going to make it or anything, but everyone makes it back. They talk about, they see a video of Rick Stoner, a video from 1972, which is interesting. That I got to look up Rick Stoner. Maybe I'll put it in the video if there's anything interesting about him. But then we find out see the light in the sky. They all decide to go towards it. But Daisy decides to stay back because she doesn't want to. She's the destroyer of the world, so they don't want to. She doesn't want to destroy everything, so she's staying back for that. And then we get the close call with the police car and stuff. That was quite cool with that. As they stole the van. And then we see that Deke comes back in time, and that was really interesting to see. And then kind of like, how is he coming back? And at first I thought, why is he not appearing in the same place that everyone else did? Because they're in the same spot they were back in time. And then I was thinking about, okay, if he was in the same spot where he was back in time when he had Equinox plugged into the setup to kind of power everything, and he appeared, he only went back in time because he was next to that one fragment of the monolith. How come he didn't just kind of appear back in outer space? I mean, I don't remember the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys being right in a S.H.I.E.L.D. bunker when they did that. I mean, I guess they were, but wasn't Deke actually out in outer space in a spaceship? Well, shouldn't he, if he was going to be in the exact same spot, but just in 2018 now, wouldn't he be in outer space just floating there and then just go, oh my god, just appear and then kind of just, die because there's no oxygen, no air, and stuff like that? I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I don't remember him being right there on Earth at that spot, so maybe there's something off with that. But is it just me? Maybe I got to rewatch it to see where was he when he kind of in the future, or to be the same spot in the past. So that was interesting like that. It's gonna be cool to play with the whole kind of him being in back in time, and how is that going, and how is that gonna go and stuff. And did anyone see that? Is anyone gonna remember anything that Robin ended up saying? Is Robin actually, they're gonna go find Robin to see what's going on with that? And is Deke coming back in time? Is that something that's different from the other times around? It didn't sound like it was something that Yo-Yo told her younger self that things were going to happen. So that's what's kind of interesting with that. And then they find out that someone's calling the Kree. They get there and they find Piper. Daisy ends up finding Deke very easily. She gets an alert on her computer and stuff. She ends up going to get him. Daisy gets recognized by S.H.I.E.L.D. and I thought she was gonna get kind of taken and stuff, and they were almost about to, but they didn't. The guy who recognized her called from the station while she was trying to get Deke. He calls and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, what's a number?" We don't see what they give him. How do they make sure that their track traces, they're not being tracked or followed or anything like that? And how would Daisy not recognize? Oh, he's onto us. We know this type thing. Daisy should be able to see that by now. I don't understand how she wasn't able to notice that. And then when they were on the phone with her and kind of the phone with the guy saying, "Hey, keep them there," and he's just like, "Okay, just give us an address." They never followed up on that lead type thing. It just went nowhere. Then they find out that Piper had set up a trap for them because she had made a deal for herself, but then she gets kind of betrayed within herself and within her own the military project she had kind of was working for to set the trap to kind of lure the S.H.I.E.L.D. team there. But then Piper ends up immediately going back and becoming part of her team, back with the Coulson's team and all that stuff, and kind of going against her word. So that was kind of interesting with that, how that's going to play out. And it is interesting to see this character because we see Piper, like we see her here and there, and if I'm not mistaken, the actress also plays a bit on Supergirl. She plays kind of the same role, just kind of it has like one-liners. This is like the most like line she's had in an episode in a long time. I think she had that one episode when they kind of recapped what they were doing while everyone was in the the framework and stuff. But other than that, this is one of the most episodes she has. It's really nice to see these kind of background characters becoming more foreground characters, and just bringing them and expanding this place instead of keeping them as just these 4 or 5 people. Expanded to kind of like these people, even though you don't always see them. You know, we might go another like 10 episodes before we talk to her again. I think it could be cool to see that. It could be fun to have her around just for a little bit and then come back and bring her around. So I think that's cool. Then we get Yo-Yo loses her arms, which is quite interesting with that. That was quite interesting. And then kind of we see the beacon that was sending out the light kind of explodes, and what's his face there? Noah puts himself around it. Doesn't really explain, like there was never any explanation, or maybe I missed something about him and about Noah and Deke and their race and stuff. They're some robot aliens, I guess. Are they like does it? How was he doing that? Was he doing that just like a grenade, like a soldier jumps over a grenade to protect his other friends because the shrapnel only goes into him and that's it? Or if this is like a nuke style thing, then it's like it's moot whether he jumps on it or not. It's like a nuke style bomb. We don't know how big this bomb is going to be, and does he have some sort of futuristic tech to kind of hold it in? It looks like he does, but clearly from the trailers for next week's episode being the 100th episode, we know that at least Fitz and Daisy are fine going into it. Looking at the trailers, that they're completely fine. So that's going to be cool to see what was going on with that. What was the point of the explosion? I guess obviously Noah is down. Maybe they're in some sort of kind of dream state because of the explosion, and that's what sets off the 100th episode with all the kind of recapping of all kinds of different stuff. That's how, because we know we do have Grant Ward will be back, or I can't think of the guy's name. It just drive me crazy. Was Grant Ward? Brett Dalton. Brett Dalton will be back. All kinds of stuff. Ghost Rider will be getting the Ghost Rider thing, the Ghost Rider, the deal that Ghost Rider and Coulson made. We'll be finding that out in the 100th episode. So that'll be cool to bring that in. Maybe that's what's going to go on. That'll be cool. And then we also have the Absorbing Man. We got that tease. We saw him back here. Which would be cool because Absorbing Man is really in the comic books has always been, someone on Hulk's level, like has always been a Hulk villain. And in here, if the S.H.I.E.L.D. teams are handling him, then if Hulk ever fought him, it would just kind of be like Hulk would just kind of one smack and he would be gone. He'd be end of story. He doesn't feel like a Hulk level in the MCU. So hopefully, whatever they want to do this second story now with Absorbing Man, they can bring him and enhance him or something and make him to a Hulk level villain, and then make the S.H.I.E.L.D. team do that, because that would be cool to see these S.H.I.E.L.D. guys, see Phil Coulson, May, Skye, Lee, Fitz, and all these characters, the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. team going up against a Hulk level villain would be quite awesome. It would be really cool if they actually for a season to see the S.H.I.E.L.D. team going up against Abomination or something like that. I think that could be really cool to see them trying to take on a Hulk level villain and having to do that with just these guys. I think it could be quite interesting to see that. And if I'm not mistaken, there's still a Bill Schneip that's kind of roaming around Earth from not Thor Ragnarok, but actually Thor the Dark World. At the end, there's like a end credit scene where you just see Thor, Bill Schneip just kind of roaming around. So that's another possibility to deal with at some point. But probably not going to deal with that anymore. Other than that, it was really quite an interesting episode. Definitely can't wait to see where things go with next week's bringing in who's going to be back. I mean, there's a lot of Brett Dalton at the kind of the red carpet, I guess we just say, for the 100th episode. A lot of interviews all over with him about returning for that and how things are going to go with that. So that's going to be quite interesting to see that. And like I said, we do know that we're going to get the Ghost Rider thing that's in the trailer. And there is going to be all kinds of... It looks like there's also... well, I can't think of the guy's name, but May's husband's going to be back there, who turns into the guy there. I can't think of his name, but who ends up stealing the powers, the Inhumans. So that's going to be cool to see and play with that next week's episode. I really can't wait to see how things go, but I have a feeling it might be some sort of dreamlike sequence to kind of... That's how are they going to bring everything, like, go all over in all these different directions, all in one episode. And I think having the explosion, maybe they're all unconscious and something like that. I don't know, would be cool. Which would be a great idea is if whatever happens for the 100th episode, it all happens inside of their head because of the explosion. They're all unconscious. And at the end of the episode, they wake up and Lance Hunter and Bobby are there, and they are they have them in some sort of stasis thing to kind of keep them healed type thing. And that could be cool to see that. To see those two characters bring back. Because, I don't know, I think it would be annoying to just have... it'd be kind of a waste to just have Hunter come back for one episode and not have him come back permanently. So hopefully he can at least be in this episode. We'll have to wait and see. If I'm not mistaken, Adrian Palicki is not doing a TV show right now. She was doing what's his face, the Seth MacFarlane TV show, the Star Trek show that he has. But I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, they're already done that. I had saw trailers for like the season finale, so if I'm not mistaken, they only did like a very few limited episode. So she could have potentially been doing some stuff here with the show, because that would be cool to see them come back and become full-time members once again, now that their show is not going to come back on TV. So we'll have to wait and see, but definitely would be cool to see at least where Lance Hunter is, because Fitz just kind of left him when he kind of saved him. He just kind of said, "Hey, yeah, you got me out of prison. That's it, and I'm going to talk to you once again." I guess the time has kind of lifted, that they're no longer a threat. They're no longer in hiding as much. I don't know. It would be cool to see that. And because if I'm not mistaken, if they had Lance Hunter and Bobby had to leave because their identity was their cover was blown, and they were on the run as fugitives and all that stuff. But now that S.H.I.E.L.D. is also on the run as fugitives, why can't they be on the run as fugitives together? I mean, I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched that episode, so maybe I'm forgetting things wrong, but it's like whatever their reason for on the run, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. reasons on the run, even though it's two separate reasons, why can't they do it together and be doing, they must have their selves a pretty good life doing whatever they're doing, and Lance Hunter and Bobby... and he was able to come back and help Fitz, so why can't he? Where is he now? Where did he leave Fitz and stuff? I forget where they left off, him and Fitz, and what were their plans to do things after that? After he got him out of prison, or that was it? Just get me out of prison. That's it. Move on. Go back to your secret life type thing, and just kind of doing whatever. So I don't know. It would be nice to see them come back, and more than just kind of cameo for just the 100th episode. So could be cool to see. I definitely can't wait to see what happens with the 100th episode. It's going to be fun to see. But if it is all in their head type thing, or if it is just like a dream sequence, or if the episode is pretty much a filler episode, but just kind of recapping and paying homage to all these different, the whole season 5, all seasons previous, which would be a nice thing. At least have the ending, like I said, kind of be a cool thing to get to set up. Like then the explosion puts them all in a coma, and they all wake up, with Lance Hunter and Bobby type thing, and that's cool, and that kind of sets them to coming back. They wake up and someone else is there. That would be awesome, as if maybe they could wake up and Sam Jackson is there as Nick Fury with Maria Hill. That would be really the thing that would blow my mind away if they did that, because they kept that a secret and all that stuff. That would be really cool to see that. But I feel like things would have gotten out from that. Who knows? But I mean, something needs to happen, I think, with the 100th episode. I can't wait to see how they do that and how they bring this storyline together. I mean, how are they going to bring, how are they going to bring Grant Ward, or not Grant Ward, think of his name there, But how they're going to bring Brett Dalton back? Is he going to play Ward? Is he going to play any of the characters that he played? Is he going to play Hydra, or is he going to play it's going to be really cool to see that. And it seems like from the trailer, everyone has their own storyline, and by having them in a coma from the explosion, and everyone has their own storyline. Like Fitz could have his looks like Fitz going to have some sort of a Gemma Simmons robot storyline, and then Coulson have his Ghost Rider storyline, and and then Mac have his maybe Yo-Yo storyline, and Yo-Yo have the end of the world type thing, and her being trapped again as the Kree storyline. Daisy having her thoughts of kind of her storyline of with Ward and maybe ending the world and all that stuff. I think that could be cool to see that. But it would be cool if they do different storylines. Each person gets their own storyline, their own kind of story going on in their head during their coma from the explosion or something. Maybe characters like people like Brett Dalton could be in all of them. For this storyline, he could be Grant Ward. In this storyline, he could be Hive type thing. In this one, he could be Good Ward or something like that. I think it'd really be cool to see that touch upon all the different stuff. And even have Melinda May doing her stuff with her ex-husband. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was that long dreadlocks, blue, and all that stuff. Absorb the powers from the different Inhumans and stuff. That could definitely be cool to see that and see different characters show up. But like I said, at the end of all that, it needs to have some sort of cliffhanger that sets up going into the rest of the season, like the return of Hunter permanently, the return of Bobby and Hunter permanently. Cool thing would be something like Maria Hill or Nick Fury would be quite awesome. I doubt that though. At least we can maybe get some homages to Nick Fury or something like that. With it being the 100th episode, homages to S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. It could be quite interesting to see, and maybe some sort of teasing towards where we're going to go for the Infinity War crossover, which I'm not sure how this is going to affect now that the Avengers Infinity War has been moved up to April 27th. Is that going to affect the connection episode? Do they have this plan so that the connecting episode would come out May 4th, the same around that week, and now it's going to be a bit off on how that's going to work with this. Maybe if they do, maybe they had a break in between there. I'm not sure if they had a break, week off. Maybe just don't keep that week off so things can line up properly. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But hopefully there is some sort of a good crossover connection. It could be quite cool to see that, and I need to have some sort of crossover. And I'm still hoping that maybe we can get some sort of a cameo from the S.H.I.E.L.D. team in the movie that they filmed on set of the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. So I think that could be quite cool if they do that. Maybe just kind of like something like, hey, I got your back, Stark, and it's just kind of him. Coulson's face pops up on Stark's screen inside of his helmet, and that's all you see is like a holographic version of Clark Gregg. Something he doesn't need to leave the S.H.I.E.L.D. set to do, because it's it's a holographic version of him just on someone's phone or on someone's that's not going to be blown up to 4K quality on the big screen. It's just going to be a square inside of the whole thing. So I think they don't need the big IMAX cameras to film that. They just need the TV show set to do that. And I'm still hoping that there is that. Who knows if that's going to happen or not, but it would be really cool to see that. So I can't wait to see what happens in next week's episode for the 100th episode. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. Season 5, episode 11, episode 99, and I'll see you guys next week for the episode 100. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?